Alex, just how did you feel getting back out there against Philly the other night and just obviously missing some time, but how'd you feel?
I felt good. It was good to be back. Felt pretty good. Conditioning-wise, that's always kind of the main concern coming back. Is missing that much time is getting back into game shape as quickly as possible. But I felt pretty good. Just glad to make it through and be healthy moving forward.
Yeah, I know you weren't in the game during that time when the Thunder played the Cavs, but what did you see just from your perspective on the sideline and how that game just unfolded?
Yeah, really good team. They've won as many games as they have because they have a good identity, a good combination and complement of bigs and guards. And they move the ball really well, and then they play, enough defense and rebound well enough to get stops. So it's a good balanced team, and it was fun to watch. But I'm looking forward to playing tonight.
And I just wanted to get your perspective because having J. Will back and obviously Hartenstein when he was healthy, what has it been like playing with two bigs who love to pass the way that those two like to pass?
Yeah, it just gives us another dynamic as a team. They're great connectors. Obviously, it gives us easy buckets. Teams are so wound up to guard, Dub and Shea, and rightfully so. But it alleviates some of that pressure from us to create every single play and gives them some responsibility. And they're really good at it.
And J. Will said, he mentioned that you and him had a competition of who could be the loudest out there on the floor. Is that something that's still kind of active as you guys are both out there?
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. There's some quiet seconds out there where most of the time I'm out there I'm saying something. But J. Will's got a unique gift of being able to communicate and to do it very very loud, I guess is the correct term for it, especially through the course of a game. On the road, that's a vital skill, but at home especially, our arena gets really loud. So to be able to communicate through all of that is a good skill, and he's been able to develop that at a young age.
You kind of talked about earlier this year about how you play some backup 5 minutes, something you haven't really done before. With Hartenstein out for at least the next week, how do you just feel about maybe going back to that role?
Yeah, I've at least got some reps at it now, so I'll know what to expect. It's going to be one of those things where we'll do it by committee again. It helps having K. Rich back and J. Will. Like, we at least have a center this time, so we won't be small the entire game. But it helps having reps at it, and then it's a tough task. The bigs in the NBA are skilled, they're strong, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
What do you just think of, I guess, J-Dub's versatility to kind of play the 5 defensively?
Yeah, he can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on both ends of the floor. I said it earlier this year to somebody, like, there's not really a skill on the basketball court that he's incapable of doing, whether it's guarding the ball, playing off the ball, scoring, being the main engine, catch and shoot, offensive rebound. Like, he can do everything on the basketball court, which is a unique gift, especially at the highest level, in the world. So, privileged to play with him.
Thanks.
Thunder back home for one quick game, the front end of a back-to-back, and they've got the Cleveland Cavaliers here in town. These two teams squared off just about a week ago, and I've got Alex Caruso alongside me. Alex, how did it feel just to be back on the floor competing with your teammates the other night in Philadelphia? Because it just seemed like their excitement level for you to be back was brimming as I watched the bench and I watched the guys kind of connect with you on the floor.
Yeah, I was really excited to get back. I like playing basketball a lot more than I like watching basketball, so that was great. And then obviously, the support from the teammates is awesome. They've seen me in here, seen me in here working, so they know how much I've put into it to try and get over that hump and get back on the court. So they were excited for me, and then I was obviously excited to get back and start playing again.
That was a great road trip, and I know you only played in the final game of it, but you were there for the ride, and Mark telling us that you're just such a huge presence on and off the floor. What did you see from this team in the way that they executed in games against really high-caliber opponents like the one you faced tonight in Cleveland, and then to just really blitz New York and Washington and Philadelphia in that first half?
Yeah, a tough task starting the road trip with best record in the league. With the Cavs, and they're a really good team, but I thought we fought and competed at a high level. Could have executed a little better, but that's what those games are for, to kind of measure yourself at this point in the year and see what you need to get better at, see what you can do better, but also what you do well. And then from there, just answering the bell, right? Like, you drop one, you don't want to drop 2 in a row, especially to start the trip 0-2. Those guys handled business, and tremendous fashion in New York, like a real eye-opening game, just to show that, like, you know, it wasn't a fluke any night that we show up and play well. We can beat everybody. So I was impressed just the way they handled the business, and then, you know, a true professional team come out and you know, up 40 at one point in the Washington game, up close to 30 in Philly, and even though it got a little dicey, you know, into the third, beginning of the fourth, handling business and coming out with a 3-1 record.
Yeah, that game in Philly, I mean, it gets tight, maybe about 6 minutes or so to go, and J-Dub told me those are the moments where you can actually really learn as a player and as a team. It's a spot where you can really grow and get better and kind of win the game at the 6-minute mark as opposed to winning it at the 1 minute mark. What do you feel that this team has learned, maybe even over just the course of the season, about some of those pivotal game pressure moments?
Yeah, it's good just to reveal the character of the team, the competitive nature of the team. Like, we know we have that, and obviously it gets lost in the shuffle every now and then when you win games, you know, by a substantial margin, or you know, even when you're down. You know, it's good to be in a dogfight where it's kind of back and forth, and we don't have that for the whole game in that one. But, you know, to show the resilience and to show the kind of competitive nature in the fight and the professionalism, like I said, to play that last 12 minutes of a 4-game trip, eight-day trip, you know, it's impressive.
Let's talk a little bit about this Cleveland team who you guys saw not too long ago. They are just one of the best offensive teams in the league, if not the best. The way that they can use their bigs was really impressive with the way that they sprayed the ball. You guys can play defensively so many different ways. You can switch and play coverage and, you know, stunt, do all those sorts of things. What's key for you all in trying to execute defensively whatever strategy you deploy tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they're a good offensive team. Like, best teams in the world, like, they're probably going to score 100-something points. Like, that's just like what's going to happen. So for us, it's about how they get the points. You know, making sure that it's on our terms. You know, taking care of the ball, keep them out of transition, contest every shot. You know, finish one possession, defensive possessions for us with the rebound. Keep them off the free throw line. Little things like that, just to make sure that we can control how they score rather than them getting loose and scoring, you know, 130.
Last thing I want to ask you is just about your ability to be vocal on the floor, and I know you've talked about just that's a huge part of who you are as a player. Has that always been the case for you? I mean, going back to high school or college, have you always been able to be so talkative and communicative, or is it something that once you started to see the game differently that you have the confidence to be able to shout things out?
Yeah, I've grown into that a little bit at each kind of level that I've been at in college. My first couple of years, I didn't really know what was going on, so I had to figure it out. And then by my senior year, I'm doing a lot of what I'm doing now. Same thing, you know, in the professional world. Came in, you know, wasn't silent, but not as vocal as I am now, just trying to learn, trying to be observant and figure everything out. And then once I figured it out and I have the knowledge, you know, there's nothing I'm not gonna hold anything back to try and win a game, try and win a series, whatever it is. So if it's something I think can be beneficial and is positive, I'm going to say it, and that's just kind of how I fit in now.
Well, it's something really awesome to observe for Thunder fans. Just watch the game inside the game, and you can see Alex Caruso either on the floor or from the bench calling things out and his teammates responding in real time. Good luck out there tonight, Alex.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
That's Alex Caruso. I'm Nick Gallo, and this is Thunder Basketball.